Hey guys, Black Dragon here. Do you want your account to go from looking like this to looking like this in just one day? Well, I have a tip for you. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Andrew, aka the Black Dragon. This is Black Dragon Studios, and I'm back with another episode of Doomsday: Last Survivors. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to up your resources a substantial amount. Like, I'm talking enough resources to go hard in an AR in pretty much 24 to 48 hours. You know, I'm not talking like 1 million or 2 million resources here. I'm talking quite close to 1 billion resources in 24 to 48 hours without farming. So if you're interested in seeing how I do this and you want to maybe do it yourself, I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to do it and how to not do it in this video. I'm just going to give a quick little introduction here. I just like to thank the ones that are already subscribed to the channel, the ones that are helping the channel grow. You guys are the ones that make me want to keep doing these videos, the ones that are liking the videos, the ones that are commenting on the videos, the ones that are supporting the channel. And if you're new to the channel, you can do the same thing for free. It costs no money to like the video or subscribe, so go ahead and do that now, and let's get into the video. So yeah, basically what we're going to be doing today, guys, is we are going to be going into the regional map. So that is your map, whatever map you use. So whatever region you're in, you'll know what region you're in if you go down, like scroll all the way out like I just did there. And on the far right hand corner of the screen, you'll see the world map. And you'll see all the different regions here, all through 1, all the way up to the 800. Whoa, we're all the way up to 860 now. That's cool. You won't be able to see past region 844 at the recording time of this video because that region is still protected, so nobody can go there except for new accounts. You can leave, but you can't come back. That's funny. Anyways, you can also see a region up here at the top of the screen. I am currently in region 563, and that is where I plan to remain for the rest of my time in the game. So, unless one day I ever decide to get my own alliance, this is where I'll remain. I'm sick and tired of transferring regions and doing, you know, new alliance transfers and all this bullshit. That's part of the reason why I was in this pickle to begin with, this resource depletion that I've been experiencing over the last 6 months. Because when I joined RAEM, I had around 2.5 billion resources in total. I had around 800, 900. No, it was actually more than that. I had over 1 billion food, over 1 billion wood, over 500 million steel, and around 400, 300 million oil. And I transferred over here to this server because I just couldn't take it anymore in my old alliance. I just wanted out so bad. And there was nowhere else in the region that I wanted to go. So it was out and over here to the alliance that I'm currently in now. Long story short, when you transfer regions in this game, all of your resources up top here disappear. Poof! No matter how much you have. So you're left with whatever's in your bag. And guess what? Your boy here don't play with too much in his bag. And there's a reason for that. I don't see the point in keeping items in my bag. Now, maybe in the future I'll change my decision on that. But honestly, bro, I don't even have enough resources to keep in my bag in the first place. So, like, it's all out on the table. And yeah, I said 2.5 billion resources. If you think that's a lot, think again, man. If you're a competitive player in this game who likes to fill rallies, garrisons, go out on the field and, you know, fight with people, that's not a lot of resources. That's enough maybe to do 2 ARs and a few island raids and a few Genesis Wars. And that's about it. So that's how much that will get you. However, there are ways to quickly accumulate resources in this game. And I'm going to show you probably the best quick hit free resources with no penalty. There's no penalty or cost to this. I just want to throw that out there. This is a completely free method. You can do this by yourself or you can do this with other people. I would honestly prefer to do it with a group, especially when we have a shelter that offers. There's some shelters that you'll find. We're doing shelters. Yes, we're doing regional shelters that are empty or abandoned. So basically, what that means is we just go around like the best time to do this. I'm just going to say this right now. The best time to do this is right after Genesis War or during Genesis War, because when you enter and exit Genesis War, it's going to put you on the outer parts of your regional map. So if we look over here on the top right hand corner of the screen, this little pentagon is where we're looking over right now. So that if we move it, our pentagon will move, and the closer in we go down to the screen, the smaller our pentagon will get. So we want to zoom all the way out, and it just makes it easier to just, go across like this. Now, generally speaking, this is a never do unless you get this. You're going to want to get permission before going into the middle and just hitting random shelters, because you never know. In fact, if you're not sure that the player is quit the game or inactive, in other words, don't hit the shelter. If you think that they could be in an alliance that's active or have a connection to an alliance that's active, don't do it. There could be some severe penalties for that. Now, one way to easily avoid that is to just simply message one of the R4s or the R5s, and just say to them, is this player still active? You can message the player, but if they're not active, they're obviously not going to message you back. Now, if you could just message the R4 or the R5, is this player active? They might say, no, they're not, or yes, they are. So that's one way to go about it. Another way to go about it is to just do some research. So just look up the alliance. Like, for example, here we are. Catherine, I don't want to see you right now. Okay, there we go. So just click here. You saw where I clicked, right? Any of these blue spaces you can click. Well, maybe just one of the alliance buildings. This one's a good one. We got the Metropolis. So you see these three dots here. You can click on that, and then you can see the alliance members just by clicking on members, and you can see that this is an active alliance. Wow, look, the alliance leader has 241 million might, 1 billion kills. And then we go down the list here. Wow, we've got R4s. The R4s are all filled up. They're all over 100 million might. Then we've got 37 R3s with all pretty much over 100 million might, or around 100 million might. Okay, so that is an active alliance. If we go over here, right over here in the middle of the map, to the other alliance here, TLVK, we can check out TLVK. We can look at the members, 88 of 135. Alliance Vault, 40,000 in their Alliance Vault. Members, they've got a 142 million might leader with lots of members in the R4 and the R3 positions, all with lots of might, all active. If you go and look at their alliance, you can actually see that they're out there actively farming. You can see that they're farming. Here's a node here being taken up by Martin. You can see that they're close to their seismic wave trap, which is the Anapede. You can see multiple people out farming. You can see that they've all got their shelters bunched up together. That means they're an active alliance. So going and hitting random players in and around this area is probably not a good idea, generally speaking, unless you ask. Now, where you're going to want to head is out to the middle, out to the exteriors of the map. Now, here's what happens to a lot of inactive players. A lot of them become inactive and somehow end up on the outskirts of the map for whatever reason. There's many reasons. I don't need to name them, but there's many reasons that they could get placed on the exteriors of the map, or exiting an event and then just quitting the game, or somebody hits their shelter, it burns down to 0. Your shelter actually has a lifespan. And when it reaches 0, you get automatically relocated to another place on the map, randomly, usually out on the outskirts of the map. So it'll just randomly place you. There's numerous different zones on the outside of the map. There's actually 6 zones. So this here, as you can see on my top right hand corner of the screen, this is a zone. And you can see where it cuts off. It cuts off right here at the checkpoints. So right now, ARD has this checkpoint. ARD has this checkpoint. am I not able to get into this checkpoint without getting access to these alliances? So this is why I say that, unless you have access to these areas, like for example, there's a good spot right here where my alliance is connected through this checkpoint here all the way to the top part of the region. So I can enter this region freely by teleporting anywhere on my alliance territory. And then I can go anywhere in this part of the map. But once we get over here to this part of the map, like we cross this checkpoint here, or this checkpoint here, or this checkpoint here, there's no way for me to get in this part of the map. So if I really wanted to get in this part of the map, it's not that hard to do. I just have to leave my alliance and go join one of these alliances temporarily, put my shelter in the alliance territory, and then I can scout shelters, empty shelters, for resources. Once I found the right combination of resources, because there's going to be troops possibly in their shelter as well. The right troop to, like, you're going to lose troops, okay? That's the one thing you are going to lose. If you attack a shelter, all of your troops that get injured in the battle, all of your heavily wounded troops they're killed instantly, and you can't revive them ever. So you have to be very careful that, let's say they have 500,000 tier 4 troops in the shelter, but all the shelter has is 5 million wood. Well, yeah, 5 million wood is nice, but you're probably going to lose way too many troops to make it worth killing off 500,000 of their tier 4 troops. Even if you have tier 5 troops or tier 6 troops, it's probably still not worth it. Now, let's flip it around and say they have like 300,000 tier 4 troops in the shelter, but they have 500 million resources in their shelter. Well, as long as you're able to find that shelter on the map or rally it with your team, say there's other players online that want to do it as well, you can I can hit a shelter and get like 35 million resources in one hit just by hitting the shelter by myself. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to do that in today's video, and I'm going to say the best reason that it's right after or during Genesis War is because when you're entering or exiting Genesis War, it automatically places you randomly on one of these exterior parts of the map, regardless of your affiliation with the checkpoint. So you can't go outside, you can only teleport back to your alliance territory at that point. Or back to Genesis War and back out. So you can do this multiple times without using any teleports. And this is kind of a cool way to kind of go around the map. But Genesis War isn't always available, and you can do this easily just with teleports. It's as simple as that. If you're teleporting, say over here, for example, I'm just going to use this as an example, okay? Let's say there's a shelter that I found right over here, way over in this corner, right here, and I have access to this region. Well, I can use an advanced teleport, which is like one of the purple teleports. Okay, it says unable to use because I'm traveling or in battle because I have my troops out. So you have to recall all your troops. And I don't have an advanced teleport, but they're like the purple and yellow teleports. You can find them at the Mysterious Merchant, or sometimes you can win them in events. You would be able to port directly right here if you wanted, and relocate with the advanced teleport. Now, the closest to that location I could teleport with an Alliance territory teleport would only be anywhere in Alliance territory. So I know that my Alliance territory starts here and it goes all the way through here. And as you can see here, all the blue buildings, that means I'm in Alliance territory. So as you can see here, I've got my shelter parked right here because I was over here earlier doing some stuff. And I'm going to be moving soon, but this is where I am right now. So yeah, I'm all the way over here. And now it would take me like 10 minutes to march over here, which is a lot better than marching all the way from my Alliance territory, which is all the way over here. which would take more like 2 hours. So it's worth it, like 350 gems or whatever for a teleporter that you purchase from the mysterious merchant. And you can hit the shelters multiple times. Like the barricade sometimes doesn't go down, so the shelter will just stay in the same spot, and the barricade might take 5 or 6 whacks to go down. Now, once you start burning the shelter, which is a certain portion of their troops, once you kill a certain portion of their troops, their shelter will burn, and whoever was fighting the shelter will take resources from the shelter, if there are any, and carry them back to your shelter. The bubble will go up over their shelter for like 8 hours, but after the 8 hours, you can go hit them again. So the more resources they have in their shelter, the better, obviously, right? And the less troops they have in their shelter, the better. And the nice thing is, after you hit their shelter once or twice, they're so low on troops. So you could have maybe a shelter after 1 or 2 hits with like basically no troops in it, but they still have hundreds of millions of resources in their shelter. So just imagine hitting a shelter 3 times in a day and collecting 100 million resources from that shelter in a day in less than an hour. That would take you like 5 days right there to farm. So I've kind of given you guys an idea of what we're going to be doing in today's video, but now I want to show you the dark side. I kind of want to show you the dark side of what can happen if you don't select the right shelter to hit. So let me just go here. This is how to not pick a shelter. So right here you can see this guy, this gentleman here, Magu M. Samina, is currently getting attacked by a bunch of TLVK members in our region. And I'm gonna tell you guys the full story, so like there's nothing left to chance here. You're gonna get the whole story on this matter. So basically, I'm gonna tell you the long story short, and then we'll go into the whole video. So this guy here was attacking one of the TLVK members, which is like the alliance that's right beside us and the metro. One of the biggest, they're the second biggest alliance in this region. The guy started attacking his farm and killed off all of his farm's troops and hit and stole his farm's resources without permission. So this guy here, TLVK Malad, is the guy that it happened to. And so he called out for help in the regional chat, and they had a discussion about it in the regional chat and decided to burn this guy's shelter. He was still, it had happened just after Genesis War, so he was out in the open, not moved or anything. And shortly after he burned TLVK Malad's shelter, they decided that they were going to reset him. So I kind of agree with it, but I kind of don't. And I'm going to tell you why after I show you some of the battle reports, because basically, like, there's a lot of battling going on here where I'm seeing deaths occurring for the people that are attacking the shelter, but no deaths occurring for this gentleman here that's being attacked. So these people are like just needlessly killing off their own troops at the beginning because they're wanting revenge on this guy for killing his farm, which I get it. Like, it's painful. You know, you just lost, 35 million resources and all of your troops are either dead and or in hospital in your farm. But at the same time, the person that ends up getting deaths from this is not even the guy that it happened to. So this guy here, Lord Nikros, is actually a member of our alliance, and he went to help this guy. And I understand the logic, like, you want to help the guy, but this guy incurred so many deaths from this incursion. I don't think he should have been the one that would have had to do this. I figured that it should have been somebody from the TLVK Alliance to be able to do this. Now, that's just my opinion, and, it is what it is. I'm not saying he was wrong to do it. I'm just saying, me personally, I don't know that I would have felt the need to do it because they have a big enough alliance that could have zeroed this guy to begin with. So you see here, other people are showing up from the alliance to help out and help burn this guy and steal his resources, which is understandable. You know, it's totally fine to do that. I respect that. This guy is 100 million might, 100 million kills. They gave him the mob. They gave him the mob title, which is -3 attack, -3 defense. And I've never heard of this alliance before. Mag-U. I didn't even know they were an alliance in our region. So I'm just going to go ahead and show the battle reports here very quickly. 194k squads. Oh, yeah, this is the farm. This is the farm. Okay, so this is the farm. This is the proof in the pudding. Now, okay, so he took 5 million, 6 million. There was no deaths. Puria Farm didn't incur any deaths. The only one that's incurring deaths here is the main perpetrator. So this is my whole point. Like, I don't even think there were any deaths in this battle for the farm. But you will see the amount of deaths that I show that everyone else is going to incur, because whenever you attack a shelter, all of your heavily wounded troops get converted to deaths. And when you are the shelter, you can have a full hospital before your heavily wounded start being converted to deaths. So here you see again this 21k heavily wounded, but 0 deaths. This is what I mean. So we hit him with 5 marches. Another 24k heavily wounded, but 0 deaths. So there's still no deaths at this point. And I get it, it's the principle. Like, you don't need to explain to me in the comment section, well, this is why he did it, A, B, and C, and you're an idiot. Like, how could you not? I don't need to hear it. I'm honestly probably not even going to respond if you say something that's stupid to me in the comments. Like, I get it. It is what it is. He's only incurring 200 deaths. This guy's farm is completely ravaged, but it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not, dude. 10k deaths. Whoop-de-doo. 155k deaths. This guy... Okay, I think we're into the actual, like, revenge battle report now. Yeah, I think this is where we're at. Let me go back a minute here. And yeah, this is the Necros battle report. So this is when the region decided that the punishment for this gentleman was going to be having his shelter burned and zeroed. Which I don't agree with. I mean, you saw the battle report. It was bad, but it wasn't, like, unforgivable, right? Like, there was no deaths. If there was deaths, yeah, I would have been like, go for it. Do your thing. Burn them, you know? Burn them all. But I think this could have been settled a little differently, or maybe, you know, a bit differently. At the very least, I think that, you know, the amount of deaths that Lord Necros is going to incur here, because he got there first. He started attacking the shelter, like, solo, like, on his own at first. So, yeah, he goes ahead here and he kills off 155k of this guy's troops. And then he heavily wounded 87k, and he only took 10k deaths. I know it's only 10k deaths, but it's still 10k deaths that someone else could have took. So in return for it, he only gets 5 million resources, and he's not going to be able to hit this guy again. So that's the first battle report. Actually, he doesn't burn him. So this was actually kind of a smart play on his part. Like, if I'm being completely honest, to not burn him right away, just to, like, hit him a little bit and then back off and then hit again and back off. This is the gear differential. So we're showing Lord Necros over on the left side, who has joined forces with TLVK just for the purpose of this burn. And you can see here that our friend that got burned had 3 million troops in the shelter. And whereas the farm that he attacked, I know it's principle, you don't need to say it again, but he only had maybe 100k troops or so, or 200k troops in the shelter. None of them died, bro. None of them died. So you're gonna kill, like, they're gonna kill millions of these guys' troops here. Like, this guy is gonna be at 0 by the time they're done with him, and he's gonna have like a million deaths. Half of them are not gonna be recoverable. So basically, they went ahead and killed off 500,000 of this guy's troops that are never getting returned, and put a full hospital over like 200k troops, and it was just a mistake. It was just a mistake. Like, this is not a, it's like a first time offense. I think this would be good if it was a second time offense, but this, to my knowledge, was a first time offense. So this guy is getting absolutely crippled here. Here's the third battle report. So he goes in again. He loses another 270. Like, I don't give a shit about the other guy at this point, but our friend Necros loses over 300k might because of this dickhead. Another 17k deaths here for Necros. And those are not recoverable. Those are just gone. Those don't go to the aid station. Those are just dead forever. So he's already lost 30k troops for the purpose of someone else's alliance, like that they could have easily done themselves. They could have easily, and they would have happily done this themselves. So, whatever. It is what it is. If you wanted to do it, that's fine. But to me, it makes no sense. Just approve the burning and then let them handle it is the way I would have done it. Kills off another 181k of this guy's troops. And then he backed off. There you see some of the gear there. He's a rider main. Developing that the volcano rhino beast and the saber-toothed tiger. So yeah, that's really it. I mean, that's the third one. That girl's laughing in the chat, thinks it's funny. It's not really that funny, honestly. And then over here, this is their alliance memo. The guy that hit the farm, the perpetrator, this is his alliance memo. Attacking anyone or vehicles within our area without permission from one of the R4 alliance is prohibited. So, I mean, that's where the violation occurred. Yeah, but anyways, I guess he got what he deserved, but I don't want to keep going over it again. Like, look at how big this alliance is. They have a lot of people with 150 plus million might that could have easily took care of this. But that's just my opinion, okay? Like, take it for what it is. It's just my opinion. So we'll move on from that. That's what not to do. That's how not to burn a shelter. It wasn't a shelter you should be attacking. That farm there was attached to one of the biggest alliances in the region, and somehow ended up all the way out in this zone, the outer zone. Regardless of where it is on the map, it doesn't matter. It's still connected to the main alliance. So in the end, I think they actually let him off easily, honestly, because if he would have ended up going back to his alliance and then the decision in the region was to burn him and they didn't give him up for burning, there would have been, his whole alliance probably would have got burned. So that's just my guess. I don't actually know what would have happened, but there would have been problems. Okay, so now that I've shown you guys what not to do, I'm going to show you guys what to do. It's really not that, it doesn't need to be that scary. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys right now how to pick a shelter for burning. So here I am. I'm parked out on the upper part of the map, and I'm just looking through some scouts. I've just brushed across the region and scouted some shelters that either look abandoned or attached to some abandoned alliances and they're currently inactive themselves. Even if they're in an alliance that's small or basically not active whatsoever. If that player is still active, I generally don't like to hit them because they, you know, they're still active. We're not looking to go out and kill people here. That's not what the objective is for this mission. The objective is to just find shelters that are clearly abandoned and clearly not a part of an alliance that's active, or maybe they're not a part of an alliance at all. So we're just going to take a peek here through some of these battle report or some of these scouting reports. And yeah, I'm going to tell you guys what I would do. So here we have Master Chiefs, not a part of an alliance. If he was a part of an alliance, it would say right here, like this guy here, 97 or F98 in brackets. But this guy does not have currently a part of any alliance. And he has a nice bit of resources in his shelter. This is one you could easily raid with like 4 or 5 people. Maybe 6 or 7 people to clear this guy out in one shot. Basically, you would just take a rally and have everybody take, 3 or 4 marches up to the shelter. And I guarantee you would be able to clear this guy out in one shot. Now, if you're just doing it solo, that's perfectly fine as well. There's so many frickin' shelters like this in your region territory that like no one's gonna be bothered by you going and doing this. It's basically a first come first serve thing. So, and it takes a really long time too. Like if you don't have 1 or 2 hours to do this, then obviously it's a really long time, right? Like then you're obviously better off just not doing it. But things like this to organize and do all that, partnering up stuff can take some time. So if you want to go up there and do this one by yourself, which is what I did for the purpose of this video, this is a perfect shelter. The amount of resources in the shelter is a lot, enough to like hit it 3 or 4 times, and still there would be like 100 million resources left in the shelter. So now the next question I'm going to ask myself is, what does he have as a garrison? I saw a Liam McFadden and a Ray Goro, which is 5 stars and not awakened. So that's really good. Very, very bad beasts. And then he has almost 1.4, 1.6 million tier 4 troops in the shelter. So to actually hit this guy's shelter, I'm not going to do it solo. This is a shelter that would cause me probably 50, 60,000 deaths if I was to hit this on my own. And it's honestly not worth it. Like I could just get a group together. So I saved the battle report. I put it aside and we can get a group together, at some point and go in and hit this and maybe only have like 5k losses at the very most. And get the same amount of resources from that. So we'll put that aside and we'll save it for later. Now, if you're desperate for resources and you have a lot of troops to burn, or you have like tier 6 troops or something like that, then obviously you could do this on your own and not have to worry at all about losses. But yeah, that's even with good tier 5 troops. I think the minimum losses I would have occurred here would probably at least be 50 to 60k, and I'm just not interested in that at this point. So I think we'll just look for another shelter here, which I did find. So here we have Mr. 1111 941, not a part of any alliance. Barricade has been hit. Looks like he's been hit a few times already by people. 94 million oil, which is really what I want. I'm looking for oil and steel because those take the longest to farm. And you collect the same amount of oil and steel as you would collect any other resources from the shelter. It gives you equal amount of resources if there are enough available. So this is perfect here. I've got enough to go in and hit this shelter. Now, how much troops does he have in the shelter? He's got about 200k tier 4 troops, but 50k is vehicles. And then he's got about 100k worth of non-vehicle tier 3 troops. So I can hit this on my own, confident, maybe 10k loss at the most. At the very most. How many tier 2 and tier 1 troops? I don't give a shit. there could be a million tier 1 and 2 troops. I'm still going to hit the shelter. So a shelter with this much resources in it. So he's got a Sophie. No fragments have been put into the Sophie. And then a fully awakened Epic Charlie, which is like horrible. Honestly, it's really not that good, considering I'm going to be hitting this guy with all T5 troops. And I saw the beast as well. He has a beast. But he's not a part of any alliance. It looks like he's inactive. We're going to go hit this guy. So, setting up all my troops here. So as you can see here, I've got just my main hitters. So as you can see, I've got my infantry hitter here, my Miyamoto, and his assistant, which is really bad, but I have a fully leveled up 6-star Hank Janowitz, which was my first ever hero that I leveled up, and I never put any more investment into him after that. Like, I just stopped caring about Hank Janowitz after I got him to got a couple of skills unlocked, and you can get his fragments for free. So I just put free fragments and then nothing more. So we got him going, and then I have my Rubina and Bella, fully awakened Rubina and Bella, with my best beast, and I've got then just farming heroes with as much cars as I can possibly fit in, and then the rest is just all like infantry or range, whatever, right? So the idea here is to lead in with my tier 5 troops that can actually do damage, that I don't care about deaths as much. So in this case, I'm a rider main. I don't want my riders dying that much, so I'd rather have infantry die, because honestly I don't care that much about infantry. So I just lead in with my Miyamoto and then immediately hit with my Rubina and let my other guys just stand by the shelter until it gets into like the low yellow / red zone in the health bar. And then as soon as it does, I'm going to attack with everyone. And then, yeah, because if you don't attack with the gatherers, they're not going to gain any resources from just standing there. So you have to hit the shelter at some point. So it's best to do it when it's low health, because immediately after it starts burning, it's going to bubble up and you're not going to be able to hit it again. So there you go. So that's who I'm bringing, and it's going to take quite a while to march there. I think I saw 11 minutes in the march time. So here we are, we fast forwarded, and I am attacking the shelter. And you're seeing there, I'm taking a little bit of damage. I'm not attacking it properly. I just said, you know what, I'm just going to attack with everyone because I really don't care right now. So I just attacked with everyone. But you can see there, I'm losing like maybe 1 or 2k troops every few seconds, which is kind of shitty, but this is a shelter that we got around 36 million resources from the first time I hit it. And then I hit it again and I got another 35-40 million resources from it. So I'm going to show the battle reports here just so you have an idea. 19k, 1.9k deaths there. This is also going to up your kill count. It's going to pad your kill count, especially if you have a low kill count to begin with. Not that that's like important or anything, but that will happen. Your kills will shoot up drastically, especially when you hit some of the bigger shelters that have like, you know, like a million T2, T1 and tier 2 troops, which is crazy to think, right? Because honestly, bro, like if you play this game correctly, you can get your tier 3 troops unlocked on like day 4. So to come in here and see these guys with like a million tier 1 and tier 2 troops in some of these shelters is just mind-blowing. Because do you know how long it would take to fucking make that many tier 1 and tier 2 troops, bro? Like, bro, you can only make, when you're in an early game and your shelter is like between levels 15 and 20, you can only make 1,000 troops at a time. So you would need to make 1,000 troops you would need to make it 1,000 times in order to hit 1,000,000 troops. That is fucking insane, dude. And you see this a lot. So those troops get instantly erased by T5s in about 3 seconds. So I don't know why people do it. Here you see, again, 6,400 deaths. This is from one of my farmers. They still killed 52,000. There you see I lost 6.5k cars. So this is actually a really good way to kill off your cars too. There we just gained 10 million resources initially from that. And then the nasty Sarah Vandermeer Michelle combo is going to go in here and kill off 11k deaths and only take 2k deaths and take a nice prize of around 6 million resources for us back home. And yeah, there we see we lost some range, don't care. Lost some infantry, don't care. Didn't lose any riders. This is the Rubina. She come in only 12,000 might lost from the Bella and Rubina, which is kind of good, I guess. Only 1,300 deaths as opposed to 96k deaths. If I had more riders, I would just hit them with 2 rider marches and just say, you know, fucking be done with it, right? But right now, I really don't have that many riders left. I'm going into Top Commander early for that reason. But I need to collect resources before I'm able to do that. Here you see there the Miyamoto March, 4k deaths and killed off 137k. And those guys are dead. You know, this is why you have to hit inactive players too, because if they're active, they're going to come back online. They're going to heal their troops. And then if you hit their shelter again, all of their troops are going to be there again. So you're going to have all those deaths over again. Both for you and for them. So it's like really, really not a good idea to be repeatedly hitting shelters that are active. Unless they deserve it or there's a good reason for it. But just random people, don't be hitting their shelters. Okay, we have Lyok Jacinto here. A nice amount of oil and wood, which is really nice, with a bonus addition of food, not that much steel. But that's totally okay. So let's take a look at his garrison. He's using a common Allison and Charlie fully awakened, both fully awakened, and a level 33 Blaze Sabretooth with basically no troops. He's got some T3 troops, which is fine. We can kill those off pretty much instantly. So I'm going to search and take a peek here. And I see that there's 2 people standing here, which is interesting. So I zoomed out. They're both a part of the Lyok Alliance. I've never heard of the Lion King Alliance. So let's go in and take a look at the Alliance, which is what our friend Mr. I got burned because I'm an idiot failed to do about 5 minutes ago. So as you can see here, they don't have much of an Alliance banner. They have 5 gold in their Alliance vault. 5, count them on one hand. 5 gold in their Alliance vault. And 19 people out of 68 in their Alliance. Not the most active Alliance. So we'll go in and take a look. The leader here, Peace 0410. I actually went ahead here because we had Gabriel Sanchez. I actually went ahead, and the other guy, that Jacinto guy. I actually went ahead and messaged these guys to see, before hitting them, if they were actually still active. And none of them have messaged me back. It's been almost 48 hours. So I'm going to start hitting these guys. But the problem with Gabriel is I ran into the same problem with Gabriel as I ran into with the other guy, whereas Gabriel has a good amount of resources in his shelter, but he has like 2 million tier 4 troops in his shelter. So I don't really want to hit that by myself. I'm going to have to get an entourage and hit it as a team to avoid like 100k losses. So But yeah, so here we go. We're hitting this guy, this gentleman here, this Jacinto guy. And the Allison Garrison didn't really hold up quite as well as he might have wanted it to. And we ended up with... I really liked using this Rubina, as a matter of fact. This one here, only 22k might lost to 900k might lost. And there you see the massive difference in hero gear, vehicle, etc., etc. That's really what you want to see. And if you need help, just maybe ask one of your alliance members that's a little stronger to go there with you. Like there, I only lost 2k troops as opposed to his 133k dead and 156k heavily wounded. And then we can go back for more later. As long as his barricade and his shelter is still in the same spot, we can go back as many times as we want. So, there you see the beast. He doesn't have a single chip for his beast. So he probably quit the game right when the beast came out. It looks like this guy got his shelter to level 23, got his level 33 beast that everyone was given for free pretty much, and never got a chip for it. So he never stayed. He quit before the chips came out, because it's not hard to even get a blue chip to be able to put on your beast. Little tips like that can kind of help you, right? Like determine whether or not the player is active or not. He doesn't even have a secondary beast there. Now that's not the be all end all, right? Like, but yeah. It doesn't mean that they're inactive just because they don't have a beast, but it's a good indicator. A very good indicator. Another indicator that they're likely not playing anymore is they don't have any likes on their account. Like if they have literally 0 likes, that means they probably quit the game over 2 months ago. That's when likes came out. They quit the game at least over 2 months ago. Because even the most hated players in this game, such as yours truly, has over 200 likes. So I don't care what anyone says. If even the farms can have likes. Is this crazy? Fun fact, bro. My farm, which was active for a week, had more likes than me. And I've been playing the game for a year. My farm, dude. Because what happened was I got a shitload of likes from people as I leveled up my shelter. Because when you level up your shelter, you give out free caches to your alliance, and they all thank you automatically as they collect these caches. So I ended up getting like over 150 likes in the first 3 days, just leveling up my shelter, just off the caches I was sending to the alliance. And then I just gave all my fucking lilies that I had on my main account just to my farm, just to see how many likes I could get for the fucking thing. Over 250 likes, bro. The farm has more likes in a week than my main account has in the entire time I've been playing the game. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, man. If you guys see my shelter, my poor lonely shelter out there in the battlefield, man, feel free to just give it a like, show it some love, man, because it's hurting. So, yeah. So, anyways, let's move on from that. And yeah, that's really it, guys. That's all I got for you in today's video. I was hoping to get one more burn in. You guys saw where I clicked, eh? See, I have it starred. And then just right here, you click this coordinates. This one here is 583 million food, 31 million oil, 38.2 million wood. That one there, I might want to rally it with my alliance because it looks like the barricade's getting pretty low. But yeah, that one's right there. And then we've got this guy here. I'm going to give you a prime example of this guy here. 197W Naresh D. has 30 million might, has 0 likes, so this guy's never received a single like. Is part of an alliance that has 67 out of 67 members, which might baffle you a little bit at first. But it says here, we move to the territory of the alliance. Well, funny enough, this guy happens to be the alliance leader. This guy's the alliance leader of an alliance that has 0 R4s, 0 R3s, all R2s that are just bots and or people that have never played the game. And the rest is all R1s under 6 million might. So these people are all chiefs. And this guy here is not in any alliance territory. As you can see here, there's no alliance territory. Well, 197W. Let's try to find 197W on the map. I think it's over here, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. So this is their alliance territory. 197. This is their entire alliance territory, 197W. It consists of this, and this block right here, and that's it. So they've got like 4 blocks of alliance territory. And as you can see, there's literally, this poor Anipede gets no love. Nobody wants to hang out with this Anipede. So this Anipede is just sitting in his hole, just doing nothing. And yeah. So we go back over to our friend, our gentleman, Mr. Naresh D93. Oh yeah, oh, that's where he was before. So this was his previous location right here. And I hit him. And then he moved. But funnily, he moved. This is the funniest shit. He moved right beside this Tums person with the 583 million food. He moved right there. So I hit this person, and then I hit him, and then I moved my shelter way over there, and now I have to move it all the way back here. Because initially he was like all the way over here, and now he's all the way over here. So I'm all the way over here at the moment, right over here. And now I have to go all the way back over here. So it can be a little annoying, especially if you're having to use like lots of teleports and stuff like that. But it's worth it. Like, I've counted a lot of resources in a day I could collect just doing this solo method. I don't even want to know what it would be like if we had a team of people going at these shelters. But you could probably raid around 200 to 300 million resources per day using this method. So in about 4 days' time, you could have enough resources just doing this method to go into into a top commander and compete for the whole top commander. You can go into your events. You can do your entire Archipelago raid with this method, and Island raid and Genesis War with this method. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and that's really all I got for you in today's video. Just be careful. If you think that they could be active or that they are in an alliance that is active, you know, do your research. Don't just go and hit that player, because you could end up like our friend back there, burning and on, you know, life support. So just don't do it, you know, don't do it. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys my hero that I use, Fully Awakened Rubina. 3 million Rubina will be able to do this job. Pretty much a 3 million hero in general will just be able to do this job. A solid 3 million hero. If you don't have a 3 million hero, you're probably going to get a lot more deaths than I did. But one good 3 million hero will do the trick. If you have a 4 million or a 5 million hero, it would be even better. But yeah, that's all I got to say. If you have a good ranged account is probably good for this too, because a lot of these garrisons are infantry. So yeah, you're gonna want a fully awakened hero that can do a lot of damage very fast. So if you don't know about good heroes, go back and watch some of my previous hero videos, and you'll soon know who are the best heroes in the game and who are not the best heroes. So, and yeah, that's really all I got for you guys in today's video. Thank you for watching. My name is Andrew. This has been another episode of Doomsday: Last Survivors on Black Dragon Studios, and I'm gone. There was supposed to be like effects and stuff like that. I'm still here. There was supposed to be a big. I was supposed to disappear like a magician.